What's up, guys? So we are back. Probably not by popular demand, but you know, whatever. I don't really care, and I know y'all probably don't either. But I have something special for y'all. But first, I actually have to apologize. When I started this channel, I didn't expect for me to be so invested in it, and it's kind of the case now. But I actually am interested in like uploading more content. Probably not weekly, probably be just whatever. But this video, I've actually been meaning to upload for a long time, probably like 3 weeks now, and I'm just not really getting into it. So, with that being said, I'm sorry for this video actually taking so long. But hopefully, y'all will enjoy it. It's something a little bit different, something that I felt like I really need to make a video on. And without further ado, let's get started. Things off. This video is going to be directly dedicated to my book, and a lot of people kind of already know and have read and everything like that, but for the people that don't, or for the people who kind of want a little more information about it, or just really don't know that I wrote a book this year in general, I felt like I needed to make a video just to kind of elaborate on it and maybe get people interested, right? So this year, like I said, I wrote a book. It's something that is actually very near and dear to me. It took me about 8-9 months to write the book, and what's crazy is that I've actually been planning to write this book since I graduated high school in 2014, but I just didn't feel like I had the motivation along with the perspective I needed to write something that a lot of people would ultimately enjoy. So this book I actually wrote coming off of a very tough time period in my life. This year, actually, I know we all joke about how bad 2020 is, which ironically 2020 has actually been one of my better years for me as a person. The latter part, I mean. But the earlier part, January, February, March, I was struggling. I really was. And I had just a lot of events that just kind of like added up to each other, which really and truthfully just deflated me and made me question who I was as a person. I was going through heartbreak. I was going through an injury. I messed up my hamstring. Mentally, I just wasn't there. I was just focused on other things. And I just ultimately felt as if I was losing or had lost a part of myself. So in order to cope with just kind of how I was dealing with things and stuff, I've always written poetry. But poetry wasn't really helping me, and I felt like I needed to do something better. So something better was me writing this book. This beautiful, gorgeous book that hopefully is coming in the camera. Let me see. Hopefully it's coming in, guys. I don't know. I'll edit that out or keep it in. Yeah. So this book I wrote in February. I started in February, and I completed it. Honestly, I can't even remember. I completed it a long time ago, but it was really like the editing, revising, and just everything else like that I really needed to just really work on. So I guess you can't say I completed it, at a certain time period, but rather, it was done, like rough draft was done, and I just kind of prettied everything up. So I guess that makes more sense. I don't know, technicality, whatever. The book is done. Everyone loves it, I guess. I don't know. So kind of going back to why I wrote this book in the first place, like I said, I had always been wanting to do something like this. I never really found the motivation or had the perspective, but definitely going through what I went through January, February, and March with all the things I've kind of alluded to, it really and truthfully was the catalyst to something great, right? And that great was writing this book. I needed a way to really write things down in a manner that reminds me of how great of a person I was. Especially going through a time period where I was questioning my own identity. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted in life. And I felt like everything that I was really going through, or everything that I had planned in my head, was kind of falling apart. And I didn't have a foundation. It was the first time in my life where I truly did not know or have a plan for the future. Which, ironically enough, that actually brings me to the title of the book. So the book itself, the book title, I actually spent a long time coming up with. Actually, the title took me probably the longest, as opposed to like any chapter that I had written. But yeah, so The title of the book is For the Man Who Walks Tall. Hopefully he's coming in on the camera too. Hopefully y'all can see that. I'll probably like put an image to the side or whatever. I don't know. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Yeah, so the reason why I wanted to make it this title specifically was because I really do see this book as a love letter to myself and for everything that I've gone through. That's why it's For the Man Who Walks Tall. So basically it's titled for, for myself. For the Man Who Walks Tall. And walk tall is something that I've been accustomed with and something that a lot of people associate with me, mainly because it's my motto. And I'm not going to spoil too much on how I came up with it and everything because, it's in the book and I do want people to read the book. But it definitely is something that I've associated myself with for the longest of times. And it just fits so perfectly. Having this kind of love letter to myself, reminding myself to walk tall and letting other people know that, I am the man that has gone through a lot, but I've also been through a lot to get better and to get stronger, to mature and everything like that. And to me, that's really what's most indicative of just the title itself. And I think that's something special. So kind of going back to the cover of the book and stuff, like I said, hopefully it's coming in the camera. I have a crown right here, and this crown is supposed to represent me as a person and how I go about things. And, my name is Arthur, obviously, and Arthur actually means king. So I really see myself or my life journey as a king's tale. And that's really what I wanted to drive home with this book, is that, okay, this is the tale of a man who has gone through a lot, a man who wants to be a king, who wants to do great things, who wants to achieve a legacy. And that's really, and truthfully, that's really what the book is about. It's basically just me going through these things, autobiography form, and just trying to answer this question of what does it take to become a king? And really and truthfully, being a king is something that I've always wanted to kind of do my entire life. Obviously, it's not like, have a castle or anything like that, but it's my own definition of what it means to be a king. And in my definition of what it means to be a king, it means to be somebody who achieves something of great value, something that nobody before has achieved and something nobody after can achieve. Having your own mark on legacy and having your own impact on people. And that's something that I really want to do in my life. I don't want to just be, one person. I don't want to just be a track athlete. Hell, I don't even want to just be a writer. I want to be somebody that achieves a lot of great things, and with that, leaving my own mark on history and on people. So as far as the content goes in that book, it's 9 chapters. It was supposed to be 12. I omitted those extra chapters because I just felt like they weren't good, honestly. I am playing out an enhanced version that is going to be released in the summer. I really haven't started work on that. I'll probably start maybe like next month or something. I really don't know. I'm just really enjoying, this current work that I have right now. Like I said, it's 9 chapters. Hold on, let me see how many pages. I honestly forgot. So it's 9 chapters, 165 pages. It's very easy to read. I made it so that people can really read it very easily and their eyes won't get tired, and that's why I formatted it a certain way and I had a certain text or whatever, because I really want people to, I want people's eyes to be attracted to keep them reading. And honestly, that's one thing when I did my research on trying to figure out how I should basically format the book and everything. One very underrated piece of advice for any writer is trying to format the text in your book in a way that's easy for people to read. Because if everything's just kind of close together and it's very small, people, their eyes are going to get tired, right? But when you have everything kind of spaced out, the wording is big and everything's kind of attractive, naturally their eyes are going to want to read more and be attracted to what you have written. So to kind of go in detail about the chapters and everything, chapter 1 is basically kind of an origin story. Chapter 2 is a story dedicated to my mother. Chapter 3 is a story basically about my identity as a young black man just in the world and how I go about things psychologically as well, which, a lot of people actually have enjoyed that chapter, but I'm not going to get too much in detail with that. Chapter 4 is mainly about my high school days and just kind of things I went through in high school, just kind of transitioning from, being that ignorant little kid into becoming a man and becoming a man of faith and going into the world for what the world is. Chapter 5 is a story about how I went and transitioned from being this guy who wanted to play in the NFL, expected to play in the NFL and be great and stuff, to basically being a track star at LSU. Something that I really didn't even imagine, but it's a story unique in itself. So chapter 6 is actually regarding my time or my early days as an LSU athlete and just starting out kind of small, but then rising up to fame and prominence and who I am today and the person that people know me to be today. So chapter 7 kind of details why this book was written, details last year, kind of going into early parts of this year, the things that I went through, just a lot of that stuff. And obviously I kind of alluded to it. I'm not gonna spoil everything because like I said, I want people to read the book, but I'm just going into what the book is and what it means and everything like that. Chapter 7 is probably why this book was written. So, if y'all do decide to pick up my book, really give that a read. It's very interesting. I think it is. I know it is. So, I wrote it. Chapter 8 is mainly about how I came out of that hard time I was going through. I basically did decide to write a book. The stuff that I did, and just advice for people who are going through like depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And even though I do want people to read my book, so I'm not gonna spoil everything, I just do want to point out right now for whoever may be watching, if you are going through a tough time in your life, you should do things to try and help, not necessarily relieve that, but to try and progress in other aspects of your life. Whether it's heartbreak, injury or something like that, you should always try to find something that isn't going to keep you stagnant. You always need to move forward. You always need to, as cliche as it's going to sound, walk tall. For me personally, to help out with the things that I was going through, I wrote this book. I donated to my high school and to this other gym. I started getting healthy in track. I started really branching out and meeting different people, really learning how to be a better communicator of certain things, and just ultimately just really trying to become the best version of myself for myself and for other people. Honestly, I love who I am. I love everything that I've been going through and everything that I've really will go through, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm very confident in the future and I'm very in love with who I am as a person. Brings me to chapter 9. And obviously, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil everything, but chapter 9 is really kind of the culmination of the first 8 chapters put into one. And it's something that is gonna lead people off. It's kind of a cliffhanger, yeah. I feel like I, should have done that on purpose because, cliffhangers, obviously people want to know what's next. So that helps people kind of be like, oh, hey, cliffhanger, I can't wait for the next thing. So the reason why chapter 9 is actually my favorite, which it actually is my favorite chapter, is mainly because, like I said, it's a culmination of the first 8 chapters, and every story in the chapters that I've gone through and everything and all the people that I've met put together in one chapter and really defining me as a person and really defining the transitional period I had from being a young kid to a teenager to a young man to an adult. And yeah, I still am a young man, but I'm one that's a lot more grounded, a lot more focused, a lot more concerned, a lot more happy with who he is and the people he's around and just a lot of things in my life. Like I'm really happy. I really am. I probably don't show it a lot. I joke around and everything and stuff, but deep down, I really am a happy person and I really do love who I am becoming and who I was and everything like that. And I really do want to become the best version of myself. And that really is what chapter 9 is about. Chapter 9 is really about me as a young man, as a king, finally ascending the throne, taking my place, and now just really living up to who I'm meant to be as a person. And honestly, I feel like that's one of the biggest misconceptions of life when it comes to trying to become someone or finding yourself or whatever. The way I define all that is you shouldn't try to find an imaginary version of yourself to become. Finding yourself, that's probably honestly, that's probably the worst thing you can, or the worst phrasing you can do. You know, it's not so much finding yourself, so much as loving yourself, in my opinion. Because when you love yourself, you appreciate who you are, and you start to really grow and build upon your strengths. Whereas when I feel like you're quote unquote finding yourself, you're looking for some imaginary person to become who just is not who you should become. So for example, I tried to quote unquote find myself by playing football. But with how I am and the person I am and everything around me, and just from an athletic standpoint, my talents were in track. And you know, I started appreciating my speed, I started appreciating the sport of track, I started appreciating my talent, and I built upon that person, and now I'm here today as an LSU track star. From throwing footballs in the yard and breaking garden gnomes and stuff as a 12, 13-year-old kid to a 24-year-old man who, you know, is honestly on the cusp of something great and becoming greater. So to summarize what I just said, basically for whoever, you shouldn't try to find yourself or become this imaginary person. You should really begin to love yourself and appreciate yourself for who you are. Skin color, religion, you know, your sexuality, all that stuff. You know, if you love who you are and you appreciate who you are, you can build upon that person. And you shouldn't let a single person in this world tell you different, because I'm not, y'all shouldn't. You're put on this earth for a reason, you're breathing for a reason, you have a purpose. And the first thing you can do for yourself is to love yourself and love who you are as a person, and really grow and build upon that person to achieve what you want in your life. So, you know, kind of pivoting off of that, that's why I really wrote this book, because I really wanted it to be a book that proves that I'm growing as a person, that proves that I've actually began to love myself and really and truthfully build upon my strengths. So my strengths, writing. You know, like I said, I love poetry, I love artistic things, and writing this is probably the most defining artistic thing that I've done in my life. And writing my book is something that I'm actually really proud about. It's something that I really and truthfully didn't plan on doing that like this soon. I honestly planned on doing this after I was done with college in general. But basically what I went through in February and everything like that, I needed some progression. I needed to really expand. I needed to grow. I didn't need to stick around and be sad. I didn't need to be in this frozen cycle. Well, it's not really, you know, cycle is frozen, but I needed progression. And I needed something to help remind me. And honestly, there was a time where Walk Tall really wasn't helping me. So writing this book, like I said earlier in the video, is kind of a love letter to myself. It's a love letter and appreciation to be like, yeah, you know, things have kind of sucked, but not everything's been bad. And, you know, this book is really detailing that I've been through a lot, good, bad, and different, and we'll go through a lot too. I think that's what's really special about this book, is that it's a love letter to myself, but also it should serve as a way for other people to get hope from. Because, yeah, we all go through adversity, we all have our demons, things that we all kind of struggle with. But I want to be a symbol of hope to people, and I want this book to be a symbol of hope as well. And I want people to pick it up and be like, you know what? He went through this, I can get through that too. You know, and I'm not a motivational speaker. I know I'm kind of being, you know, a little motivational right now, and hopefully I am, but I'm not like a professional motivational speaker or anything like that. So regarding the availability of the book and everything like that, to a lot of people's disappointment, I won't be having this book widely available anymore. It was already kind of limited availability wise, and the reason for that is because it details my basically time as an LSU athlete, and because I'm still in college, it will be against NCAA violations to really sell it. So up until now, I've been using 100% of my own money to print the books and give to people for free. And honestly, I'm kind of tired of that. I've used too much of my money, and from a business standpoint, it's not smart, because I do plan on releasing an enhanced version of the book when I'm done with everything, right? When I'm done with college athletics and stuff, and hopefully be a pro athlete or whatever, maybe go, you know, net school or something, I don't know. But I plan on releasing an enhanced version, and I want to make money off of that. And I'm going to include a lot of the stuff that I omitted from this book in that book, and kind of pretty things up and whatever have you. So from a business standpoint, it just makes a lot more sense. Have kind of like this first version, oh, people like it, and then this, you know, completed 100%, everyone loves, it's beautiful, it's done, you know, they're gonna have it in the archives of a library and stuff, you know, all that good jazz. So that's what I plan to do with that. So I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, what about the ebooks? Because there is an ebook option, but it's kind of the same thing with that too. I don't want the content of, or the contents of the book to be widely spread, because I can't tell if, you know, I send this to someone, they're sending it to someone else. And I try to get a better hold on that, which the people I send it to, I trust that they haven't sent it to anyone else. But to prevent my anxiety regarding that, and to prevent, you know, probably some situation in the future, I'm not going to be giving ebooks anymore unless, and this kind of goes for the hardback or paperback or hard copy or whatever you want to call it too. Even though I'm not making it widely available, if people do ask me and people are interested in my book and reading it, we'll make it work. We'll try something, but I'm not going to have it, you know, to where like a random pool of people can get it and maybe spread it or whatever have you. Because at the end of the day, you know, it is my book. I do want to make money off of it when I can with the enhanced version. And it's also something special to me. And I feel like having the rarity right now really drives home the fact that it is something special. But at the same time, you know, it's not going to be as widely available as it was before. You know? But if y'all are interested, I'm going to leave my links and stuff, you know, my Twitter, Instagram, probably my Facebook, even though I don't really get on Facebook, I don't know. Just hit me up on those. Maybe I'll leave my email, I don't know. But like I said, if y'all are really interested in reading or want a copy, you know, just talk to me and we'll try and work something out. So with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it. This book is something that I've really taken a liking to, and something that I'm really prideful of, and something that I really do enjoy. And honestly, I kind of read a little bit of this book every single night to remind myself that I'm a great person. I really am a great person. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. At the end of the day, I am somebody who is a great person, and I am somebody who knows for a fact will achieve everything that he wants to achieve. And I also want to be a better person, not just for myself, but for other people as well, for my friends, imaginary girlfriend, or I'm just kidding, you know, hopefully in the future, you know, not right now, my teammates, my family, just overall, just to be a better person in general. And I know I am on that path. I know I'm not there yet, but things are going great. It's not perfect by any means. The way I describe myself as being imperfectly perfect, or perfectly imperfect, vice versa, and you can use it interchangeable. But because of my imperfections, I'm perfect. And because of that, I'm becoming the man that I know I can be and want to be. So that's really special to me. This book is really special to me. Y'all are special to me, all that jazz. So guys, as always, stay cool. Like I said, this is kind of the end of the video. If y'all are interested in reading the book or just whatever have you, hit me up. It's for free. You know, like I said, it's not going to be widely available to anyone. So just because you might hit me up doesn't mean that I will provide you with a copy. But if you do really want a copy, kind of prove that you really are a person I can trust with it and do want to read and really need that motivation, and heck yeah, you know, I'll provide you a copy. Ebook, hard copy, preferably ebook, because, you know, I don't have to pay for that. So, yeah. With that being said, I will see y'all next time, next video. I don't know when it's gonna be uploaded. I'm actually planning a video out with my friend, and you know, we haven't actually even started on that. You got COVID and everything. Y'all stay safe, by the way. Be smart. Don't do anything stupid. Wear a mask. Go out and vote. That's very important. But yeah, so with that being said, till next time, see you, Space Cowboy. Cheers.